Hi, this is August Gone, and this is my EP Obey Not on BBC Introducing with Tim Hunter. This is the first track. It's called So Cruel off my new EP Obey Not. So Cruel is one of the first songs I wrote on my new Nord keyboard, which I love so much. And So Cruel is sort of a reflection on oneself, working on oneself, using music as a bit of a therapy to deal with going on with life and sort of the unfairness of things you come across in everyday life, and just dealing with it and working on the perception of, fixing it yourself and a bit of self-love, really. So Cool on the BBC across the Channel Islands. Up next, it's my track All This Time. All This Time was a little different because I use like an organ-y sound, synthy sound compared to the rest of the tracks. And I love how we've made it really sort of throwing loads of 80s influences that we've played on those in the recording aspect as much as we can. For the sort of context of the song, it's about ignoring red flag and realizing that's not going to make oneself happy in the end, ignoring red flags just in the pursuit of the greater good. Like, you have to make sure that you're being treated properly within any relationship, and you're better off alone and deserve better. So that all the lyrics are sort of dealing through those emotions. Here's my track, All This Time.
I always thought you were just in your
That was All This Time by me, August Gone, on BBC Introducing in the Channel Islands. So we're halfway through my EP, and the next song we're going to listen to is Thank You. Thank You has like this eeriness, and I've got a lot of influences like from Avenged Sevenfold and another artist. She's called Saint Evangeline, heavily influenced my sort of exploring like the screaming and at the intro. And the whole song is sort of built on learning to grow and coming to terms with hard times and things like that. Just three of those songs, So Cruel, All This Time, and Thank You, have been elements of being let down by people, especially ex-bandmates, ex-musicians in the past, and just realizing that I can do this on my own and I don't need anyone, and I'm better off and I'll be able to proceed faster. And it's funny, with that freedom that came to being able to find new bandmates that are so supportive and so lovely. Leo, Craig and Andres have just been a miracle, really, with helping me with the live side of music. And it was liberating just getting that EP done out of my system so I can move forward. So I hope you enjoy this new track, Thank You, of my EP, Obey Not. This is August Gone. track Thank You from my EP Obey Not. Up next is my final track, On My Mind. This track is different to the rest. This is sort of a love letter. Initially, it was my partner who sort of was complaining to me that he's never on my mind in a jokey kind of way. And I thought, oh, yeah, you are on my mind a lot. But ironically, I sat down to write a song called On My Mind, but it ended up being more, the first verse is more to my 2 children. And then the second verse is more to my late father. So it's very nostalgic song and it's sweet, and it's not the same as the other 3 tracks on the EP. So I feel like this whole EP is quite nicely, it has so many different variables that the songs sound quite different. However, On My Mind is definitely more, the subject matter is definitely different. This is the final track from my EP, On My Mind.
I'll always be there.
that was On My Mind. I hope you enjoyed listening to my EP, Obey Not. My name's August Gone. Yeah, the EP is available on all streaming platforms and download on iTunes, Apple Music. And if you're at my next gig at St. James's on the 10th of October, you'll be able to buy a hard copy on CD. I'd like to thank Nick Dinny for helping with the production side of things. He really helped me nail all the songs to the best of their ability. I'd also like to say thank you to Ryan Jones, who put all the guitars down. He smashed out the park really on Thank You, and all this time I just wanted more guitars and he just delivered brilliantly. And also I just want to thank everyone in my band for supporting me with this project. We really hope to be doing some more recording as a band later on in the year with new tracks.
Alex, thank you so much for being on the show this evening. That's August Gone. Go and check out that EP, Obey Not, and add it to your playlists.